Welcome everyone to the next episode of The Power of Ambition. Today we have a very special guest. We have Cem
Thanks for having me.
Kilic.
Kilic.
Kilic?
Kilic.
Oh, I was like Killa.
That's a good one. And the first name you pronounce Cem.
Cem?
Cem.
Cem? Like with the G?
Like a Gemini, just Cem.
Oh, it's
because
not.
Because the C in Turkish is like a G.
Wow, we're already learning stuff about you. Okay.
So it's Cem.
Gem.
Yeah.
As in a gem?
Like
a
gem.
diamond?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's how you pronounce it.
Okay, so what's your real name?
That's my real name. Yes, no, not even
okay. Because I read what your real name is.
Should I not?
Oh, that's your real name in Turkish.
Yeah, my full name.
How come I read it was Andrew somewhere?
I don't know. I go by many names, but that's my real name.
So in Turkish, your name is Cem.
Yes.
And it's pronounced Cem.
Yes, the C in Turkish is pronounced like a G.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Cem. A lot of people call me Cem. I don't know why, but
well, now I'm going to call you Cem from now on.
Cem.
Okay. And then so Kilic. C.
Kilic.
Kili.
Oh, Kilic.
You know, because you're a fighter. I thought like Cem the Killer.
Yeah, that's my actual name. It's not even a nickname. It's my real name.
Really?
That's my passport. Yes.
Wow. What a great name for a fighter.
I know. I didn't know. My parents gave me that name.
Okay, so we know that you're Turkish based on the pronunciation of your name. Why don't you tell everyone who you are? Just a little introduction.
I'm Cem Kilic. I'm from Turkey. I was born and raised in Germany, but I spent a lot of time in Turkey, so I was back and forth. I'm a professional fighter. I fought for the national team of Turkey. I was in the Olympic team. And 2014, I moved to the United States, Los Angeles. So I live here 8 years now, but I was going back and forth.
So you've been in Los Angeles for 8 years. You've lived here for 8 years.
8 years ago.
Were you born and raised in Turkey?
Born and raised in Germany.
In Germany, but you're Turkish.
Turkish, but I would go as a little kid always to Turkey. Turkey is a 3-hour flight.
From Germany. Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was that close.
I spent a lot of time in Turkey, in Germany, so a lot of back and forth.
Okay.
Because it's close, and my parents are immigrants from Turkey to Germany.
Oh,
so I was born and raised in Germany.
Oh, I see. So how old were you when you moved to Germany? You were born in Germany?
Yes, born and raised.
Oh, okay.
But I moved to Turkey when I fight the national team. Then at 16 years old, I spent 4 years in Turkey. I would still go back to Germany. I would spend most of the time in Turkey for boxing. And then in 2014, I moved to the United States.
Okay.
So I have 3 homes.
Turkey,
Germany,
and Los Angeles. Yeah. Okay. So your parents, why did they move to Germany? What did they do for a living?
So my grandfather, my mom's dad, back in the time when the world was after the Second World War, then the Germans needed help. So they had a bunch of Turkish people come to Germany to help to recover the country, to build back. And my grandparents went to Germany for help. And then my mom and my uncles, and they were born in Turkey. So eventually they moved to Germany. And my dad moved to Germany for better life. He was 28 when he moved to Germany.
Wow.
So my parents met in Germany.
Are you an only child?
No, I have four siblings. We're 5 total.
Are you the youngest, middle child?
Second youngest.
Okay.
I have a younger sister, older brother, and two older sisters.
Oh, big family.
Big family. A big family. I have a lot of cousins. Uncles. I have a lot of.
So family parties members. Are huge.
Yeah, especially in the Middle East. The Middle Eastern people have a lot of big families. So I have a lot of cousins.
So what part of Germany were you raised in?
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt? Yeah, is that like a small town? Is it a big city?
It's a big city, but I was in the suburbs. So a very small town. 4,000 citizens.
4,000?
4,000, and I came from there to LA. I don't know how many people, millions of people here.
Yeah.
It
That
was a
must be.
shock. I hated it here.
Oh,
I wanted
that's.
to go home. So after the fights, I would tell my manager I'm going back home for 2 weeks. I end up staying for 6, 7 months, then come back for fights and then go.
Yeah. How was living in a small town? 4,000 people. Wow.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knew each other. But it was also rough for me. I grew up very rough.
Well, let's talk about the great part first.
Yeah, so the great part is everyone knows each other. It's a small town, but there's nothing you can accomplish really, you know?
Yeah. What's your favorite childhood memory?
Hanging out in like the forest. I lived in a place where there was a lot of forest. Beautiful forest.
Like magical?
Yeah, it's like the jungle, you know? Like Virginia, with a lot, so I would spend all day long in the forest. I know everything there, I could walk and just blind. I can find everything in the forest, a big forest. I would never get lost. So I would spend a lot of time there.
Yeah.
My favorite times were the times in the forest.
Yeah.
Hanging out with friends, playing soccer,
Okay.
Yeah.
Football.
football.
What was tough about growing up there?
It was just growing up because when I became a teenager, I had bad friends. Early teenager.
You had bad friends?
Yeah, so we were going to in the big city, and then we would get into trouble and poverty. I grew up poor,
Oh.
so it was just rough growing up.
What's growing up in Germany poor like? Like what is your experience? Is it with food? Is it with shelter? Is it with opportunity?
It's hard to find food because especially there's racism towards Turkish people. So they don't look out for us, It's more like we have to look out for each other. And then there was a lot of days no food. So I would steal, I would steal food. I got arrested 8 years old.
You got
I
arrested
got
at 8?
handcuffed.
What did you
Stealing ice cream.
You stole the ice
Yeah.
cream? What flavor?
I think it was like vanilla ice cream.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
vanilla.
hard though.
Yeah. So I grew up like that. No money, no food. I grew up with my 3 siblings sleeping on the same mattress.
Mhm.
But I had a purpose in my life. So I want to get out of this. I want to make a lot of money and help my family
Mhm.
and show everyone that we also can have what they have,
Yeah.
And then when I became 12, I was 12 years old, 13 years old, I started boxing.
Yeah.
And then I loved the sport. I said, this is going to change my life.
Yeah.
And
So-
it changed my life.
So from 8 years old, from when you stole the vanilla ice cream, which I love vanilla ice cream.
Me too.
I mean ice cream in general. Like where did the thought come that there has to be more to life than this? Like was it a song? Was it a movie? Was it something someone said?
Movies and just the rich people. I've seen the rich people. They have it all. They get treated so nice. And for me, as a kid, I'm a kid, so it doesn't make sense. I'm like, how they have everything? We don't have it. And they just live like 2 blocks down. And so I was starting asking those questions to myself. I'm like, well, how is that possible? They can do this and do that, and we can't. Because I couldn't understand why. I don't know if money is important. Your parents have to have this job or whatever. So I never understood, but I was just tired of it, seeing my family living like that. So I was playing basketball. I started playing soccer. I wanted to become an athlete. I want to just make something happen so I can make a lot of money and just change my life and my family's life.
Yeah.
So eventually I started boxing.
So how did you end up boxing? Like who introduced you to that?
Kind of my friends and my brother. But it was more like I was fat. I was a chubby, fat kid.
Yeah.
And then...
I was a chubby fat kid too.
I was really...
When I got older, teenager. I was a chubby fat teenager.
It is.
Yeah.
It gets to your head.
Yeah.
So I was a fact, when people call you fat or chubby or whatever, they say something or they say something about your food. So my one friend was picking on me. He said, you're fat or something, and then we started to fight. He whooped my ass. And I broke my hand, and it hurt my pride so much.
How old were you?
I was 11 or 12.
That was your first fight you
Yeah.
lost?
My first fight and
Ever?
only one. Yeah. It was my first fight I lost because he beat my ass and I broke my hand. So after my hand was okay, it took me 2 months. I went to kickboxing class. I wanted to just learn to fight, lose weight and to learn how to defend myself. But then all the people in the kickboxing gym, they were all growing up people. I was the only kid. And my brother said, let's go to the boxing. My brother was boxing at the time. He said, let's go to the boxing gym next door. And you can learn. Then I went to the boxing gym next door. My first day, the coach had me spar with one of the kids from, the gypsy kid. I know him from the neighborhood. And I beat his ass. I was so good in boxing. The coach loved it. The coach was like, hey, he got so much talent to my brother. He said, I want to see him every day. Then I started going. I love the sport. I didn't even care about fighting in the streets anymore, And then
Were you fighting in the streets at that time?
always, even after I boxed.
So after that first fight you lost, you're like, no more.
I still got into street fights, but that's a different story. And then I started boxing. 2 years later, I made it to the national team. And then
Wait, so how old were you at this point? You started boxing you got in your
13.
first fight at 11.
I got first, 12. I was 12 years old, 12, 13 when I started boxing. And when I had my first fight. And then 2 years after that, I was 15. I made it to the national team. And then 17 years old, I was in the Olympic team. And
the Olympic team?
Yeah, but they didn't take me to the Olympics.
How do you get into the Olympic team?
You fight the best one in your team. Say
nationally?
Nationally. Say from 80 million people, there's a couple thousand boxers. So you fight the best, and I beat him. But that guy I was 17 years old and he was 28 and he went to the Olympics already before.
Wow.
So they still took him. And I went to the World Championships and I met Americans there. And that's how I came to the United States. They invited me. So That's how everything started. Yeah, and then when I came here, everything just started moving fast. Too fast.
Let's bring them up to date a little bit. What is your current record as a professional boxer?
17-1.
17-1.
I only lost for the world title eliminator.
World title what?
Eliminator fight. So if I would win that fight, I would get a chance to fight the world champion.
Oh, okay.
For the actual belt. But it was a close fight. My coach threw the towel. He lost the fighter. The fighter died in the ring a couple of weeks before. So he shouldn't throw the towel. He threw the towel. The fight stopped. And yeah, that's my only loss in my career.
Yeah. Well, you have a long career ahead of you.
Yeah. 17-1. I fought for a lot of big fights, so I'm keep going.
Do you know when your next fight is yet? I just saw you fight.
Yeah, I just fought 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. It was a tough one. Yeah, I think my next fight is going to be in November. Another big one. So that should get me back in the top 10,
Yeah.
I was number 5 in the world 2 years ago.
Yeah. How has your family's life changed since you've become a professional boxer?
A lot. Very. Even when they go out in the streets, because when I go back home, everyone knows me there. So they love me. It's like, I'm like a hero. Because I'm the first fighter from my country ever turning professionally here.
Really?
Yeah. In history of boxing.
From Turkey?
From Turkey. And there's no world champion. Oh. So I inspire a lot of Turkish fighters to turn professional. Yeah, and then now when I go home, and even my parents, they go on the streets, they treat them better.
Yeah. What do your parents do for a living?
My mom works with her brother. My brother has a car, like a dealership.
Oh, your brother has a car dealership?
My mom's brother.
Oh, your mom's brother.
Yeah, and my dad owns taxis. So he has a taxi company.
Yeah.
So that's what he does now.
Nice.
Yeah. So my mom just is with her brother, and my dad does that. They divorced.
Yeah. You go back and visit all the time?
Yeah, I was there last year.
Has there anybody that you grew up with that, is kind of stuck in the same place?
All of them.
All of them?
All of them. Yeah, they never had the mindset to really move. I wonder sometimes, I'm asking, what do you guys do here? Mm-hmm. When I go back, I'm so used to the big city life now. Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to go to the big cities there, but I'm like, what do you guys want to do for the rest of your life? Just stay here?
Yeah.
See the world, go explore.
Yeah. How has traveling changed you?
Great. I learned a lot through traveling. We travel all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. So I've seen a lot of different countries, a lot of different cultures, different people, different mindsets. So that changed me a lot, you know. So I understand a lot more about people. I kind of understand the people's cultures.
Yeah.
So I don't take it so personal when something happens, you know.
What's the most memorable place you've ever visited?
Jamaica.
Jamaica?
We just got back from Jamaica, yeah. My favorite, after Turkey, Jamaica is my favorite country.
Really?
Yes, the people is unbelievable. It's amazing. So I will, all my lifetime, I will go there very often to visit. I still have a lot of friends there now talking. I made a lot of friends when I went there, so I'm still talking to them.
You're gonna go back?
Jamaica, I'm gonna go definitely back, or more like often. Yeah, I love that place.
What would you say to, young men or women who want to be a professional boxer? What advice would you give them to go like on the journey that you've been on?
Believe in yourself. First thing is you believe in yourself because sometimes there's people they don't believe in you. They will tell you not to do it. The opposite. Dream killers. You just have to believe in yourself, work hard, stay focused, dedicate yourself, and you have to mean it, you know? If you just do it halfway and you're not sure about it, don't do it. You're not going to succeed in that. In anything in life, you have to give 100%. So if you have the mindset right and you really believe in yourself, you don't let anyone talk it out of you, yeah, you can make it.
Was your friends or were your friends and family supportive when you decided, I want to be a boxer?
Not really. I was doing everything on my own.
So, if you didn't choose boxing, what path did they want you to take? Like, what would you have been doing right now?
School or work.
The what?
Go to school or go to work. You know, work at my uncle's shop or construction. But school, I never wanted to go to school.
You didn't like school?
I didn't like school. I
You
hated
don't have a
school.
favorite subject,
It was
nothing?
the worst. I quit school when I was 17 and I chose boxing. I put everything on one card. I said, that's it. I'm giving all for boxing. I never worked a job in my life. Nothing. Only boxing.
So I know your parents are proud now because you're like a national treasure, basically,
Yes.
right? But you said back then they weren't as supportive of it.
Not really. So my dad was supporting me after I started the national team. He would travel with me. But even then, they would say you should start finding a job and help out, make money. But I say I'm not gonna work for anyone.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want to work for anyone.
Was there a lot of fights that started because of it?
Yeah, they didn't believe it. I was the only one. So I was always believed in it. And then there was a lot of fights at home because of that.
Yeah.
But I never let that stop me, you know. I said, you guys gonna see eventually it's gonna happen. Because I told them I'm not gonna work. I have a bigger plan in my head. I'm not gonna end up like you guys, work 9 to 5 and live by month to month, you know. So it happened early, 20 years old.
20, you were like, no.
20, everything changed, 180 degrees. And then I showed them, I said, you see now? And then everybody all of a sudden they believe. I always believed in you. Family members just coming out that you never heard of.
Yeah.
You know,
I've heard
they
about
just
that
coming
happening
out. They're like,
before.
oh, I'm your cousin. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was early. So I showed them, I proved them wrong. I proved myself right and I proved them wrong.
Yeah. Was there any doubt that you might not know what you were doing because you were so young that your parents might be right?
Never,
Never?
never. I never doubted myself. I believed in everything. I quit school. I left home. I came here with $200. I had a little suitcase. And I just said, okay, I'm going to do it. 6 months. Took me 6 months in Los Angeles. My life changed, you know.
Wow.
My family's life changed. Even though a lot of them didn't really believe, I'm a family person. I look out for them.
Yeah. What do you think is the most important thing when it comes to family?
Sticking together. Believe in each other, you know, support. So that's very important thing. Show love. You gotta have a family relationship. I think that's very important.
Do you have a favorite food that your mom cooks for you?
Yeah, rice and chicken. There's a Turkish one. There's like chicken in rice. It's like mixed up. That's my favorite.
Do they sell it
only
here?
when she makes it though. They sell it in Turkey. Well, yeah,
I gotta go to Turkey to
you
try
gotta
it.
go. Turkey is the best food. We have everything. It's the best food in Turkey. And very hospitable people.
Nice. What challenges have you seen in your career so far that have been difficult to deal with?
Like, probably people. It's like the closest people leave you unexpected, you know? But after my first loss, the closest people I had to me, I really thought, okay, we're family. They start distancing themselves.
You mean like friends?
Friends, they're people that I look as the family members. They stop talking, they turn their back, and that's all you know. It's a challenge. The sport is actually serious. So everything, the whole time I was winning, everything is just nice and good. But then you lose, and then the challenges start actually. The real challenges.
You see who your true friends are and
Yeah.
who's kind of just
You
there.
end up alone. You're like, God damn, I was spending so many years with these people. They're just gone.
Wow. When did that happen?
2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. 2 years, right before the pandemic. Literally 2 months before the pandemic.
So that's the one loss, that the 17-1.
Yes.
So it's that one loss that you
That's
had.
that one loss. And I promised myself I never want to lose again because I never want to experience that again.
So at that time, what was your record?
14-0.
14-0.
Yeah.
And that one loss, can you walk me through the events on what happened?
So I was a 14-0. I had a very rough fight. We had a nominated fight of the year. Very rough. It was at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And after that fight, I just thought I was on top of the world. You know, I was number one. I was the number one guy for fighting for the world title. And then I just thought I'm unbeatable. You know, then partying a lot, not taking it so serious. They told me, oh, you're going to fight this guy. He was 15-0, 14 knockouts. I was 14-0, 9 knockouts. And I was like, all right, just bring him. So having fun, not taking it so serious. And then I went to Florida. I was in Florida for 3 months for training camp. But then the fight got postponed to another 6 weeks. And I was just ready to go home, you know. So I didn't take that so serious. And I had some stress outside of boxing. And I think that affected me a lot. So I lost the fight, you know. And when I lost, that was a good lesson, life lesson for me. But I got my freedom back because it was kind of like, you know, when you're on top of the world, you have all these people around you, there's lots of pressure. So you're not really free because you have to listen to everything to keep that going. After you lose, you have some time. You have some time off to think, restructure. Then I use that time right. You know, I rebuild everything.
Yeah.
And now I live free.
Yeah. Did you change management at the time, after that loss? Like, what other changes occurred?
Yeah, management, promotion, change, everything, complete everything. I just kept my fitness trainer.
Really?
Yeah, everything is, everybody in my team is new.
Yeah.
Everyone.
So
Only the
after
fitness
that,
trainer.
you took a break. You're like, I'm going to take some time off, reassess, like, who's actually here for me.
Right. Took 2 years off, almost.
Really?
Yeah.
The whole pandemic?
Not off, I was training,
Yeah.
but no fights. I had no management, no promoter.
And so now your manager is Brickhouse? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, David, 3 p.m. Brickhouse people, David and AJ.
Yeah. So how did
Shout
you?
out to them.
Yes. That's my gym too.
Shout out to AJ and David. Yeah, very
so
good management.
how did you end up at Brickhouse?
So I was training, you know, people know me in boxing. So David, Zurdo Ramirez's manager, hit me up for sparring with Zurdo. So then Brickhouse wasn't even open yet. You know,
Oh, this is before the gym opened.
there was just that one ring. And the gym was only open for them. So I went there for sparring and had a good sparring sessions with Zurdo. His management liked me. So they kept me around. And I started liking the people in Brickhouse and the gym. So I started going to Brickhouse all the time. And eventually I asked Brian Viloria. He was my teammate. I had my first fight on his undercard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I asked Brian, I'm like, Brian, I need a trainer, man. I don't have a trainer. can you train me? He said, yeah, let's go. Let's see if we can connect. And he was my longtime friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you guys knew each other for a while at that point.
I know him since I moved here.
Okay.
So at that time it was 7 years. Now it's 8 years. And then he said, yeah, let's do it. And I started training with Brian.
This was just last year.
Yeah, last year. This all happened in like 7 months. And I started training with Brian. Then eventually I signed with 3 p.m. management from Brick House. And everything started going back up again.
Amazing.
So I restructured the business. It's going good again.
It sounded like a Rocky story over
I know,
here.
it was a rough. The last 2 years was hell. But I'm back now.
Yeah. Andy, how much time are we into this? There, my watch went away. We're going to go on a 5-minute break. And we're back.
We're back now.
After that quick intermission. It was pretty quick. Oh,
That
see,
was quick.
we're thirsty.
I was thirsty. No, I drink. That's a habit.
He said, I don't want any water.
I drink water fast. I drink.
This is your last chance. You drink it all.
Shit. Yeah, it's water. I drink water.
Okay, so we're going to go. I want to talk about something that you said in the last, before we went on break. So you mentioned that, you were 14-0. Mm-hmm. You kind of got cocky, sounds like.
Not really cocky,
Or like
but
laid back, like.
not towards the people.
No.
Cocky in my own head.
Yes. Not towards people, but you kind of got like, you're like, oh, I'm on top of the world.
Right.
I'm partying, da-da-da.
Exactly.
You lost one fight, and then everyone just disappeared.
Everyone. Literally everyone.
Your support
except
system.
the people at home.
Your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the supporters from home, they still support me.
Yeah.
They never turned. Yeah.
It was people here that you thought were friends who in your mind, they were like family. And so something like that similar happened to me.
What was it?
So I was in finance for like a long time. We're not going to say how long.
It's a tough business.
It was a tough business. But there was at some point, I was making so much money. This was before the financial crash happened, like when everyone was losing their houses out here.
Oh.
And I was just,
when was that? I don't know about that.
oh, this is gonna date me. Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
Who cares? This was like 2008, 2009, when the financial crash actually affected me. And I remember I lost everything. I was making a lot of money for my age. I was, I think, 23 or 24.
Yeah, because young.
Yeah, and I was making really good money at the time.
Oh yeah.
I was making like, I don't know, between like $4,000 to $7,000 a month. I was on commission. So, for me at 23, 24, that was a lot of money.
Especially then.
Yeah, especially back then. So it was like $7,000 a month. I had a lot of friends.
But it's a lot of money now still.
It's a lot of money now still, yeah. And so I had a lot of friends around, and I remember the market crashed and my income was cut more than half. I was only making $1,000 to $2,000. It just dropped.
Still good money for how old? 22?
23, 24. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was good money, but I mean, my expenses were already high.
And you're living a life.
I was being like a little tonteria, and I was spending all my money.
Don't save up.
I was not saving. I was not following my own financial advice. I was not saving money. And essentially what happened is all the people around me who I thought were friends, I couldn't even get a ride.
Really?
Yeah. I lost my car. I lost everything.
Were you surprised?
I was shocked. I was shocked that people that I had, paid for dinner for, people who turned to me for anything that I would give them, I couldn't even get a ride from them.
Yeah. So that shows you true.
Yeah.
Good things happen early.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is similar to you,
Right, exactly.
And so it's it's kind of a shock to your system because, and during that time, I got so depressed because I was like, wait, I thought these people were my friends. And now that I'm temporarily losing, because I always saw it as I'm temporarily losing, they all disappeared. And all of a sudden they weren't my friends anymore.
How did that affect your trust?
Um, it didn't affect my trust. I think it made me view friendships in more of a like more, I guess I wouldn't say the word trust. I think it made me be more cautious of who I was
Yeah.
going to be friends with at that point. And around that time is actually when I met my best friend now. And it was
Really?
when I was at my worst.
So how did
And
that happen?
it happened because, I thought like, okay, I'm at my worst. All my friends are
Right.
gone. Like,
Oh, you're vulnerable.
I'm super vulnerable. And she knew I had no car. I had no place. I was like sleeping on a
That's how
friend's
hard. This is
out.
a rough
Yeah,
time.
I was sleeping on a friend's couch. I barely had even money to take the bus or pay my cell phone bill.
Exactly. Like from that to that, it affects you. Even forget about the friends.
Yeah.
Plus that, it's even worse. Like kicking someone when he's down.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember the first time I met her our job. We met at work. She invited me to a party, and I was like, "Oh, her dad's birthday party." And I was like, "Oh, I can't go. I don't have a car. It's kind of far." She goes, "I'll pick you up." I'm like, "Oh no, that's too far. It's like 40 minutes away from me." She goes, "It's fine." I'm like, "Well, I don't have gas money to give you or anything." She goes, "No, you don't need to give me gas money." And she drove and picked me up and drove me to
That's
her
a good
dad's
friend.
party and then
Yeah.
drove me back and dropped me off. And we've been
That's
friends for
a
10
real
years
friend.
now.
And
Yeah.
ever since you've been best friends? That's a good, see, that's a positive
It
side of it.
is. It is.
You lost the friends, but they're actually now good friends.
Exactly.
So you made a real friend.
Yeah.
One good friend is better than all of the other ones.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's still a really good friend. She was the second guest on my podcast.
You
So you'll
should be the
have,
first one.
that's what I told her. I was like, darn, you should have been the first one.
The first one.
But so how did it affect you? How did it affect you, mentally when all these people who you considered family, that they became so close, these friends, you considered them family?
Well, it affected me. Let's see, my trust. I never trusted anyone before. And after that, I didn't even trust close friends. So
So you
mentally,
had a hard time trusting.
yeah, and that just ruined everything. So after that, I can trust no one. You
How
know?
about now?
So I'm cool with people, always cool with people, but yeah, it affected me, and then I got mentally. I don't know how you how did you deal with your mental problems?
I started seeing a psychologist.
Did it help?
Yeah, it did. It did. It saved me.
You got out of depression.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is hard to get yourself out of a rut like that, especially after success.
Exactly, because it feels like everything feels after that. You don't see the light anymore. You feel like everything's over forever. It's not over. It's just a loss.
Yeah.
You can always win again. Yeah. So you can build.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like when it was it was really hard to get out of it. I want to say it was hard. I had the therapist, who I spoke to, but sometimes I felt like I was running in circles.
Right. How
You
long
know?
did you see the therapist?
Oh, I've been seeing a therapist since I was 19. So
Oh, so
a long time.
yeah.
But even before the crash,
Yeah, exactly.
I was
So
seeing
you
a
had
therapist.
connection already.
Yeah, I was already seeing a
Yeah.
therapist before that. Because I struggled with depression before. I mean, I don't know how you dealt with, in your that time, but like I always had depression since I was a kid. So I
Yeah.
think the first sign of me having dealt with depression was when I was 9.
Really? From what?
I was 9 years old. I didn't steal candy. I mean, ice cream. But I remember being super sad. Like, my mother was murdered when I was 6.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know.
Yeah, she was murdered when I was
That's-
6
makes
years
sense.
old. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it was really a sad time to like, you have your mom and then she's just gone. So then I got really close to my grandfather, and then he died. And he died like and
You grew up. That's rough.
yeah, it was rough. And I was 9 when he passed away. And so when he died, I felt like the whole world came crashing down on me, And then I just like, since then, I was just constantly battling depression at 9.
Yeah.
And I remember, I attempted suicide at that time
What did you do?
when I was
If
9.
you don't mind asking.
I mean,
Because that's a hard thing to live with.
it is. It
You know?
is. I actually almost succeeded, but I stopped myself. Like I was, all right, just a warning for our listeners, this is going to get graphic. I know I say that with a smile, but because I smile and laugh when things are awkward. But
Because it's a hard thing without the mom.
you know what? Part of me wants to say this first is that the adult me now, like I know these things happen, but it almost feels like surreal, like if I didn't live through it, even though I did. Like it just feels so far in the past, but it is part of my story. And it is a part that I don't talk about a lot. But I was so depressed after my grandfather died and after my mother left, and I just felt so alone. And I just thought, I wanted all the pain to end. I just wanted it to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know where I got the idea. I have no idea where I got the idea.
How old were you at the time?
9. I was 9.
When you tried to commit suicide?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was 9 years old. Yeah. And I remember getting... the bathrobes, how it has like a little rope?
Yes.
Well, this one was my grandmother's and it was really big. So it had like a really long rope. And so I tied that side like around my neck and then like tied it to the top of a cabinet thing. I tied it up and I stepped off the ledge. And as I was slowly losing my breath, I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. And I was able to because it was by the closet, so I was able to reach over to the closet door and stop it from happening. So afterwards, I just realized this is an issue, and I don't remember how I dealt with that at the time. I think I called a friend and I told her about it and she got super sad and I got sad, but someone listened,
How do you feel now? Because that affects you for life.
Yeah, I tried 2 times after that. But it's when I saw my therapist when I was 19 is what made a difference.
That makes sense. There's a real reason to have a therapist for, because that affects you for your whole life. Probably still affects you though.
No.
No?
No.
You get out of it.
Yeah.
That's a blessing,
Yeah. Ever since.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm. Have you been in therapy before?
One time. But I didn't like it because I was therapying the guy.
You were therapying the therapist?
I was like, God damn, what is this, dude? Am I the therapist or you?
So how did you deal with your mental health, or because you were saying that you dealt with it, you had a tough time when you lost your friends.
Yeah, I never talked really about my problems. So because growing up, it was weak to talk about your problems. So I was dealing with it, but I started partying a lot more. Eating, drinking, I would drink a lot. Waking up, my first thing in the morning, have a drink, and eat, party, drink. I got more aggressive.
You were aggressive?
Yeah.
And how so? What do you
I
mean?
would not be so calm anymore. I'm a very calm person. You need to really push the button to make me angry. I will get angry fast.
You would lash out.
Yeah, so I'll go off on people quick. That's not me,
Yeah.
I don't get angry really.
No.
But yeah, I was like that for a while. Had a face where I was going off. I would not take any bullshit.
Who would you lash out on?
Anyone. In traffic, or someone said something wrong to me,
Looked at you funny.
Yeah, I would just go off.
Wow, that's hard.
Yeah, so.
It sounds like you were very angry and you didn't know how to express it.
Yeah, I was angry at life.
What were you angry at life? Like the friends that left you?
I'm like, yeah, I put in so much effort. I spent so much time with the people, because money, anything else, you can always get again, But time, when time is gone, it's gone. You're never gonna buy time. So I have so much time invested. And they care about all the other stuff, So for me, it was like, you care so much about the money, the fight, the whatever. I thought we have a real friendship. So
you're like, I care about you. I care about this relationship.
Yes, I care about the relationship. The money is there. We can always make money. Just because you lose one fight, it doesn't mean it's over, But they look at it like it's over. So for me, it was like, all right, I have
Yeah.
it all, but it doesn't mean anything. So I started letting myself go. Put on 40 pounds. I
Really?
was fat. I was so fat. Literally, I was like 210 pounds. I was fighting 160 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so fat. But then I got, my wife started helping me. She put me back on track.
Wait, wife?
Yeah.
Wait, you guys are married?
Oh,
Damn,
yeah.
I thought you were fiance still.
Oh, no. We're married
Hold
now.
on. We gotta backtrack. Around the time you lost this fight, you and your wife were dating, living
Yeah.
together. So she went through this challenge with you.
So the thing was, after I hated it here. I hated it in Los Angeles. My wife made me love this place. I just came here for work, It helped me to change my life. I was living, making money, and I had a career going on. So I was living a good life, but I just didn't like the people here. But because the people I was around, so they just all I know was people like that. I thought everyone here is like that, so I didn't really know.
What were those people like?
They were the different.
Like superficial?
Yeah, it was just, how would I say that? It's just like everything is like this. This is America. Everyone here is like that. So say you don't like this, then they tell me. Then it's like everyone is like that. And I just know these people. I came here, and that's all I know and all I see. And then after I lost the fight, I actually wanted to go home. I never come back. I wanted to just stay back. And I said, I'm just gonna stay here. I was thinking about retiring.
Retiring?
Yeah.
Wow. At 26?
26, 25.
25.
I was 25. I was just about to turn 26.
So how did you get out of that? Like that time where you were just angry and lashing out and lost all your so-called friends, Like how'd you get out of that rut?
My wife helped me, She came to Germany, so we did we traveled around Europe. Went like to all the places. And then I went to Turkey. She came back to the United States. And I came back. I was going to come here. See, I said, okay, I'm going to come back to LA. I'll try. And I came here. The one day, if I would miss my flight, I was about to miss my flight. If I would miss the flight, I would never come here because there was a pandemic happened the next day.
Really?
Yeah, so the day after, everything was closed. So I couldn't fly, so I got lucky.
Do you remember the date?
I think it was March 11 or 12. Something
Wow.
like that. Early March, mid-March. I don't remember the exact day, but it was like, I remember that the next day,
The
2 days maybe, couple days, but a very short time. Everything was closed.
Yeah.
So I couldn't come here. But I came here, and then we spent some time here, and then
Is there
pandemic
anything like that you did specifically that helped you besides your wife? Like, was it positive talk? Was it meditation? Was it?
No. It was just me trying to quit. Crazy, I'm just losing it, because I can't be mean. And the mean side out of me just came out, but my wife put up with it, helped me. So keep going. And I went up to Big Bear for a couple of weeks, a month, training. And then after I came back from Big Bear, we decided to go back home to Germany. So because I needed a break, I need to spend some time with my family to really figure it out.
Yeah.
So we went to Germany for 6 months. And then we stayed there for 6 months. And then we decided to come back to the United States. I was feeling way better. So I came back and I started recovering. Day by day, I was feeling better. And a year later, I felt even better than before. So right now, I'm feeling so good. I never felt like this. But early on, when I was a teenager, I was feeling this way. It's been a while since I felt comfortable and confident like I do now.
Yeah. So it sounded like to me that you just grounded yourself. You took time off to breathe, to
Yeah.
enjoy life, to spend time with the people that you love, that who loved you regardless of your success.
Exactly. So that helped me to get back on my feet, to understand, to remember what my purpose and goal is in life, you know? So I started doing that, and it helped me most become a family person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get to see them often, but I always been a family person. So that motivated me again, seeing the home, seeing how I grew up, reminded me to, shit, if you stay here, you're gonna run out of money eventually.
Yeah.
And then what are you gonna do? So I said, let's go back. Let's try it differently now. I'll be different people, new
Yeah.
life. Then we moved to a different place, a very nice place. That helped. Nice. When you live in a nice place, you feel good. You know?
Yeah. When you live in a better neighborhood and
Yes,
a good
exactly.
environment.
So then I started loving it more. I started living again. Felt alive. And then I started with Brick House. And that gave me, and I got off my contracts were over. And then when my contract was over, I was like, all right, I'm a free man now. And there's a second chapter of my career and life. Then I started in January this year, my second chapter of my career and life.
That's amazing.
Everything fresh.
Yeah. And you look happy. You look well.
I'm very happy now. I love life. I love living. I love everything.
No more lashing out.
No. Because I have positive people around me now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I made the
that's
right
helpful.
choice. Yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing when you reach success at an early age and you learn early, because I think for me, and you can tell me if you agree with this, for me, I was just hungry. Like I just wanted to make money as fast as I
Right.
could. I grew up in a very poor neighborhood here in LA.
Which is also,
Yeah, and the part of neighborhood I grew up in LA, like I didn't realize that I was surrounded by opportunities in Los Angeles because it was such a bubble.
exactly.
So even
I know what you
though
mean.
I grew up in Los Angeles, I grew up in a small town and it was like a bubble. Like we didn't really go outside of that perimeter. And so for me, when I turned 18, I was like, oh, I need to get out of here. I need to like make money fast and just change my
Succeed.
environment, change my life and succeed. And it was, for me, it was at the cost of relationships, and friendships, and time that I never got back. And
Ambition.
ambition, it was, I think ambition can be a good thing and a bad thing.
Exactly.
You can be ambitious in pursuing, wanting to do better and be better. But I think it is important to make sure that you don't forget who will always be there, even if you don't win.
Yeah, so you learned because
I learned that, and
it's a lot of discipline.
because the people who were there at the end were my family, were my friends, were the people who've known me since I was young and were always going to have my back no matter what I did, And I think it's easy to forget that when you're
Out
young
there.
and successful and you start making new friends and you lose sight of that. But
Exactly. And then when you feel, especially when you feel like you're on a run, you forget about a lot of things. Did you feel like that?
I did. It's interesting because there's something you said earlier that I've mentioned, which is you never get time back,
Yeah, you don't.
and
It's gone.
there's one thing that I learned from my father that was good is to work hard. But the thing that I learned from working hard is that you should also take some of that time off to spend time with people you love, because relationships are just as valuable, if not
Exactly.
invaluable. You can't put a price on them.
Yep. And when they're gone, the relationship is over.
Yeah.
It'll never be the same.
They'll never be the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, because when your business, you put a lot of time in it. You need focus. A lot of new people, especially in LA. LA is the place. Even if you grow up in LA, I never see someone that I see today. I will never see him again. It's like you don't see the people here twice. It's so big and.
I actually have.
Really?
I've seen you several
I
times.
never see the
No, I'm
people
just-
twice.
You've seen me more than twice. No, I'm just kidding. At the gym.
Only at the gym. Only where you go.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, but I saw Chris one time. Chris at Ralph's buying chocolate.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen him at Brick House earlier, and then I went to the gym to get. Oh, I went to the gym. I went to Ralph's, and
You
then I saw
saw
Chris there. He's like, "Hey, what's up, Nicole?" I was like, "Chris,"
him? I'm not surprised.
and he
That's
came.
what he does.
Yeah, he came by the checking cashier, and he's like, "You want a piece of chocolate?"
The crazy thing about Chris is he eats so much shit, right? He's still jacked.
You know, he used to be chubby too.
Really?
Yeah, he showed me a picture.
He looked out of shape.
Oh, so out of shape.
Wow, I thought it was just genetics. That
No. He showed me a picture. It's around the time him and Sally met. He was a chubby boy.
God, I can't even imagine because he never eats healthy food.
Oh,
But
well,
I
because
see.
he runs 5 miles a day.
But I thought it was genetics, so he didn't look. He was not in shape before.
He
That's
round
funny.
face,
Totally.
like the whole thing. And he was bodybuilding at the time.
Really?
He was bodybuilding, but he was hefty. He was a
He
hefty
was
boy.
a big guy.
Yeah, he was a big boy.
That's funny. He's a nutritionist now.
But sorry, we went in a totally different direction. But man, yeah, people are important. I think I value my relationships now than I ever have, you know?
Yeah, it's more important than anything.
Yeah.
Money is just people give so much important. Like it's so important to people. But money is come and go. Relationships, life, memories. You can't buy that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a famous quote that you can always get more money, but you can never get more time. Time is
Right.
the one asset that you can never get more of.
Yeah.
Once it's
Time is money.
Yeah.
Priceless.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Time is the most important thing for me now.
Yeah.
We don't think like that when we're like early 20s, like money, let's make this happen, live a good life. But once you get to that point, like, is it really worth it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, because you want to be successful, but at what cost?
Exactly.
There was I haven't told this story on my podcast, but I've told other people. I think when it was a few years ago, before I quit finance to be a filmmaker.
How is that going?
It's going great. I'm writing a couple scripts.
That's great.
I'm auditioning, you know, putting myself out there. But I bought a rental property, and when I bought it,
That's smart.
I bought it alone. I
Really?
didn't have no one to celebrate with. I remember flying to Florida. I bought it out there. I signed the papers. I flew back by myself, and like
How did that make you feel?
I
like,
tried calling.
genuinely?
No, it was so lonely.
Right?
I tried calling my dad, and at the time, you know, my dad and I were like on rough waters, you know. I think I was upset at him about something for a long time, and so, you know, we weren't that close as we are now. But I didn't have a lot of close friends, and I had no one to celebrate with. And it was so lonely.
That's the sad part about
It was so lonely, and I was like, I don't want to ever not have people to celebrate with.
Exactly. So then you start thinking, what is this worth? You know? Mm-hmm. Well, I have all this now, but
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we've emphasized a lot. I
Yeah.
hope you guys are taking notes out
Take
there,
notes.
the young kids, the older
Especially
people,
the young ones.
especially the young
The old ones know, I hope.
No, the old ones,
I hope they know.
they might not. They might not.
but
They might not.
some they never
But
experienced.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are. I feel like everyone has their own path and their own journey in
Yes.
life. And sometimes you learn things later than other people. And so I think we're blessed to learn this at our age. I mean, 28, come on.
Exactly.
Like the type of knowledge and wisdom that you have, not a lot of 28-year-olds have.
That's what I think, and I think it's a blessing.
It
as
is.
well, you know.
Yeah, it is. When you go through a tumultuous upbringing, or you go up, like you grow up in poverty,
Right.
you know, you learn different lessons and you learn how to appreciate things
That's
differently.
why we like to give. With a lot of people that never experienced that, they don't. So I love to give. I always give. But I think people that never experienced that roughness, they don't know, they don't understand. So I can't be mad at them, but they should educate themselves about that, you know?
Yeah. What would you say before we wrap up? Because I think this is great. I think this has been a great episode so far. I think people
so
are going to
too,
walk
yeah.
away with a lot. What would you say is the number one thing people misunderstand about you?
That's a good question. The number one thing they misunderstand about me, I think, is that I'm so focused on being successful in my career. I am. It's very important for me. But I have bigger purposes than that in life, you know. I rather make a change in the world than be just a successful athlete. So I would rather use the tools that come with being successful to make a change. That's what people just think, oh, he just cares. Some people even tell me, oh, you just care about this, care about this. And I'm not like that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I care about being successful in my career, but I have a bigger purpose than just being a successful athlete. So people get that wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you think that purpose is, and what change do you want to make?
That how you say equality?
Equality.
Equality. That people are equal, you know, and everyone should have the same rights. They should, you know, be treated the same way.
Mm.
So I'm a professional athlete, and someone who's just someone walking on the street. We're the same. I'm just a better boxer. Doesn't mean I'm a better person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a better boxer. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. You want people to be treated as people,
Yes,
regardless of where they
same.
come from.
Right. There should be no hunger, especially food.
Mm.
Part of my journey is
Yeah.
feeding the people, because there's a lot of hungry people. And that's a lot of things I want to make a change. I don't like seeing hungry people,
Yeah.
you know. So people that are hungry, poor, they should get help, more help. Stuff like that.
Yeah, the basic needs.
Yeah, there's a lot of hungry people in LA. And a lot of them are on drugs, so I don't really do much for the people on drugs because it's hard to help. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
But the actual hungry people, you know, I've seen a lot of people around me. They say, oh, you should go find a job. Treating the homeless so bad. I'm like, you don't know what he's going, maybe you don't know why he's homeless. So why do you talk to him like that? So a lot of people are hungry everywhere. You know, LA, Los Angeles is like the most expensive city, superstars, but we have more homeless people than back in Turkey here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's important.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing I think when you go through something like that, because I've definitely been there too.
So you understand.
I've had days where I'm like, what am I going to eat? How am I going to
Yeah.
eat today? Not what am I going to eat?
But how?
How?
And then you start thinking. And imagine you see someone that's hungry, you can understand.
Yeah. No,
Someone
you
that
understand what it
doesn't
is not to
understand,
have
don't know.
food. Mm-hmm.
Right. So you feel for the person.
Yeah, exactly.
If you never had that problem, you will not feel for the person because you don't know.
Yeah,
But then it's important to educate yourself.
exactly.
You know?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's important for me. So that's why I feel like I'm misunderstood sometimes. People see me. I'm not a flashy person. I like to dress nice.
Ooh, flashy. Talk about flashy.
So
Talk about that new car.
People always get exactly nice car, but I just like having nice things.
Yeah,
But it doesn't make me a fancy person.
yeah.
I'm still the people's person.
Should we tell him our secret?
Kind of.
Should we tell him?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to.
He's like, what secret?
What is the secret?
He's like, I have no idea
The
what you're talking
secret
about.
is
He's like, Courtney, I swear I don't know.
People here don't know.
No, should we tell him our secret about the Mercedes?
I know what you mean, but
Oh, you do? I was like, I wasn't sure if you
I
got
know
it or
what
not.
you mean.
Let's tell him.
Yeah, tell them. But
You can tell him.
the thing is, see, I come from a family.
Mm-hmm.
We bought a new car. I bought the same car you bought,
Yes.
just in black.
Oh, man. That
Yeah.
leather interior looks good, too.
It's nice, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we got in a car accident.
What? Already?
No, not this one.
Oh, my
No,
God.
no,
I was
not
like,
this
what?
one.
You
The
already,
old one, the
you
old
just
one.
bought it.
The one before this.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're deciding to get a new car. So I was thinking, because I didn't know how it works here. Because back home, I know my family all work in dealerships. My uncle owns a dealership, so I grew up with cars. So it never was smart for me to buy a brand new car, you know? And then So we got an accident, and when I talked to you, you told me how cheap the prices are cheap. Actually, I didn't know. I was like, God, damn, it's like a $40,000 car, and I'm not gonna spend that much on the car.
Yeah.
You know. And then when you told me, I started looking actually to the same car.
Yeah.
And I found a very good one for a good price.
So this is a life hack, you guys, and I want to tell you guys about this life hack.
Yeah, you should.
And I learned it from an old boss of mine. Shout out to William Townsend.
Shout out. Shout out to
when after the financial crash happened and I was carless taking the bus.
Really?
I was taking the bus.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
So now you appreciate it. That's
oh
a
my
nice
God, are you
now.
kidding me? Yeah. After the financial crash when I lost all my friends and all my money. And I was taking the bus and I started working for this guy who owned a bunch of real estate. I don't think I told you the backstory to it. No. Started working for this guy who owned a bunch of real estate. I owed tickets on my license. I owed like $3,000 in parking tickets. Or not parking tickets, like court fees. Yeah, so like my license was suspended. Like I didn't have a license. I didn't have a car. I didn't have money. I didn't have a job. Like I was what is it called? In the hole. Yes. The deep hole. Yeah. I was like at the bottom. Rock bottom. I was at rock bottom. Yeah. And so I started working for William and, you know, I started making money with him. And so slowly but surely I started getting back up on my feet because of that gentleman who I ended up working for who owned so many properties around LA. Like he owned over 350 units, apartment buildings in LA. And so I told him, I think I have enough money. Trump. No, he's not. That's a whole another story. So I told him, I think I'm ready to buy a car. He goes, okay, great. He goes, yeah, I can help you pick out a car, whatnot. Like, what are you thinking? It's like, oh, I want this like a Toyota Camry or a Honda Accord, which is just kind of the general car that you would buy from my neighborhood. Yeah.
Especially because you think those are the cheaper cars.
Yeah, well, they're the same price. They're affordable, right? And he goes, I'm not helping you buy no Honda Accord or Toyota Camry. And I'm like, but that's what I can afford. He goes, how much do you want to spend on a car? I was like, $10,000 at the most. He goes, okay, we can get you a Mercedes for $9 million. I'm like, but I can't afford a Mercedes. The maintenance is so expensive. The parts are expensive. That's what everyone talks about, right? And he goes, you can afford a Mercedes. It's a mentality. And I'm like, that's true. And I was like, yeah, it's true. Because so I was like, no, I can't. And so anyways, long story short, we went out and we bought a 2003 C250 for $9,800. My payment was like $240 a month. This is 2003 and I bought it in 2009. So it was a pretty new car back then.
And that's a very good price.
And it was a really good price. And I kept that car until 280,000 miles.
See, I'm telling you, the Benzes, they go.
9,500. I hardly ever had to fix that car up. Yep. And I remember, friends of mine who has the Hondas and had the Camrys, there was always something wrong. They always, yes, the parts were cheaper, but they would have to fix it up more often. More things would break down. And I noticed with the Mercedes, things wouldn't break down. And so he taught me, he's like, look, the key is look at the model Mercedes you want, because they're great. They're really well-made cars. He goes, look at the let's say it's the 2003, right? So that model was like from 2001 till I think 2004, 5. Like it's like a certain amount of years that model stays the same physically, like on the exterior. They just upgrade the technology. He was like, look at the older models and that's the car you look for.
Exactly.
And he goes, so you don't buy it new, but you look for the newest model, and then you look at when was the first time they created that model, exterior wise, and then you buy that one with low mileage with no more than 2 owners, and make sure that used car was taken to the dealership to have all their maintenance done, and there's record of that maintenance. Then you're getting a good car.
Exactly. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. And so I told you that too, right? And
because that's how it works. When you buy a brand new car, say buy a car for $60,000. Once you take it out of the dealership, that car is only worth $50,000. You don't even have my drive. You just bought that car. You
Yeah.
already lost $10,000, $15,000 on worth.
Yeah, exactly. So I bought in 3 Mercedes that way. I look at the model I want, the brand new one, the one that's like $75,000 that I can't afford, and then I look at the oldest, the older models, and I see how far back can I go for it to get the same body exterior wise, and then that's how I got my car. It was 16.
Yeah, because you have the newer version.
Yours is newer than mine.
But there's a we call it facelift.
Yeah.
So there's the same car, but it's an older version, kind of.
Exactly.
It looks a little different.
Yeah.
So you have the one I have.
Yeah.
The new version.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's our little secret. If you have more questions, just comment
buy a car,
below.
don't buy a brand new car. Does not make sense.
No.
People don't get that though, They always think buy a brand new car, gonna go for years and years. How long you want to drive that car?
Yeah, cars are meant to be driven. Mm-hmm. But I think for me, like what the big thing was when he told me, make sure the used car you buy was serviced at the dealership and the dealership has record of it.
Exactly.
Those are the best cars you can buy because you know that they were well taken care of. You can have a newer car that wasn't taken care of and
they're not gonna last.
Exactly.
Yep.
But
that's a trick guess.
Yeah.
Never, because as I always say, when I came here first, because that's how we do it back home in Germany. So when I see my friends buying a brand new car, a Honda or whatever, for $30,000-$40,000, I'm like, you bought this car for $40,000? Well, we could buy S-Class, a used one. You would have a couple thousand miles on it, but you're gonna drive a very nice car,
Yeah, that's gonna last longer too. They're built to last. Yeah.
E-classes last the most.
Yeah.
In Germany, they use them as taxis because they last forever.
Yeah. We told them our secret. And we're also...
You told me and I told now.
Now we tell everyone. Why not? Now we're twinning too.
Exactly.
We go out together, we'll be twinning. Well, this is a great combo. I think that wraps it up. Do you have anything else you want to tell the people?
Just take this to heart and get inspired by it.
Hey.
Hey.
Take this to heart and get inspired by it. That's a good slogan for the Power of Ambition.
Yes,
take this to heart.
Exactly.
I'll get my take this to heart.
I'm talking for so long, so take it to heart, goddammit.
Yes, exactly. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Power of Ambition. Yeah. Jem, thank you for joining me. I said your name right?
Me. Yes, that's right.
Okay, Jem.
Yeah.
But you can still call him Killer. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't care about the last name. Killer. This all sounds good.
Well, because it just sounds great because you're a boxer.
Exactly.
Like,
Killer, listen.
Jem the Killer. I'm going to kill you in the ring. Not kill you in the ring. Oh, Lord. Let's cut there.
Let's cut
there.
I'm a killer anyway, though.
Yeah. We're gonna kill this episode. We're gonna end this podcast now. High five.
That's a good one. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.